Hi, everybody. I am Lois Wagner, your friend for forgiveness and freedom. And today my topic is travel within, travel without, stories and lessons from an adventurous, often solo woman traveler. Picking up hitchhikers in Ireland, Kosovo, Jamaica, the Republic of Georgia, Ireland, other countries, helped me connect to my deep inner self, and it provided me with a unique way to truly around 50 countries, mostly solo, and to unusual destinations off the obvious tourist routes. This encouraged me to immerse myself in their cultures and traditions, which expanded my horizons, and I gained new perspectives, both about me and the world around me. It helped me to lift my self-doubt about my abilities and any lingering reservations I had of others. Now, obviously, in South Africa, we are exposed to many different cultures and traditions on an ongoing basis. But it's wonderful to expand beyond our borders and to see how other people live. Mark Twain, who sailed around the coast of the Mediterranean in 1869, he wrote in his travel log, Innocents Abroad, he wrote that travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness. Adam Galinsky, a professor of Columbia Business School, wrote, "We found that when people had experiences traveling to other countries, it increased what's called generalized trust, or their general faith in humanity." He said foreign experiences increase both cognitive flexibility, which is a key component of creativity, and depth and integrativeness of thought, the ability to make deep connections despite disparate forms. And then finally, Mary Helen Imordino Yang, an associate professor of education and psychology at the University of Southern California, she said, what a lot of psychological research has shown now is that the ability to engage with people from different backgrounds to yourself and the ability to get out of your own social comfort zone is helping you to build a strong and acculturated sense of your own self. Our ability to differentiate our own beliefs and values is tied up in the richness of the cultural experiences that we have had. So me as a solo woman traveler, I boldly took risks, and these adventures have led me to many exciting and yes, sometimes challenging experiences. But each one has brought me joy, and each one has brought me many, many life lessons. I wanted to open my mind and question my way of thinking, to see the world with fresh eyes and to find my place in the world, to feel totally connected with others and to find true freedom. Now you may become more curious. You may wish to become more curious and broaden your horizons and understand the diverse world of ours. You might want to try new foods and activities and perhaps even change your own belief system. Perhaps you want to eliminate your fear and boldly break free from societal constraints and find the opportunity to strengthen human bonds. You may want to create shared spaces to better understand the different ways of thinking and of being, to gain new insights into the world. Historically, I was not always a good listener, and I made quick and sometimes very unfair judgments. In addition, I often self-sabotaged my own projects, which resulted me in blocking my true potential. Perhaps you have reservations about the unknown or are unable to make decisions with confidence or engage with strangers with ease, and you want to break through from your own limitations. By traveling to countries such as Iran, Haiti, India, Turkey, Uzbekistan, the Republic of Georgia, I traveled within to discover exactly what I was made of. I took risks by arriving in a country with little or no research. I've arrived with no bookings or plans, I would go to the car hire place, hire a car, a GPS. Some cases they didn't have GPSs. I buy a map. Sometimes there wasn't even a map, and I would head off into the great unknown. So during my time in Pakistan, quite incredible. Invariably, the locals would shout, "America, go home." And I would shout back, "I'm South African." And they would wave and smile and welcome me. And they would shout back their only English, "Hansi Kronia." And I thought perhaps maybe Hansi Kronia had done match fixing in their favor. Anyway, jokes aside, it's important that when we travel, that we look for the common ground, we look for those common interests. I went to Sweden and I was riding on a dog sled, and you know these dog sleds, they've got thin little slats that you stand on, and in between the slats is a leather pad which serves as your brake, and when you want to slow the dogs down, you put your foot on the leather pad. And we were going across a frozen lake with lots of loose snow on the top. And I'm heavy, and I was pushing the leather pad into the snow, and snow was gathering on top of it and keeping the dogs slow. And so in my wisdom, I lifted my foot to scrape the snow off the leather pad, and I lost my balance and fell over. And if you like, I can show you the video. I had a GoPro on my head, and I've got a video of the fall. They told us when we left that if you fell off your dog's sled, the dogs would run away and you would have to walk back. And so I just grabbed hold of this sled, and I hung on for dear life, screaming and shouting until the leader came back to rescue me. I was terrified, and I didn't want to get back onto the sled. They radioed back to the base and was told that there were no more dogs to come and fetch me. So I had two choices. I had to walk, or I had to get back on. Well, I chose to get back on, as scared as I was. And I'm so glad I did. It was such an exhilarating, amazing experience, up and down, over hills and around corners through this incredibly beautiful snow-covered forest. It was really a wonderful, wonderful treat. In addition, in Sweden, I was riding this big fat snowmobile, sturdy as anything, and we were going at great speed down a frozen river. And the guide said, "Look, there's a moose." And in my wisdom again, so full of wisdom I am, instead of turning my head to look for the moose, I turned my whole body and the bike. And we were going at great speed. And I went up this embankment, and I was in this forest, and these trees were coming at me at great speed. And I thought, "Oh, I'm going to get hit by a tree." And so again, using my incredible wisdom, I swerved back and rolled the snowmobile down the embankment. Fortunately, the snow was soft, and both bike and rider were unharmed. So the lesson: pick yourself up, dust yourself down, laugh, forgive yourself, get up with renewed determination and vigor, and enjoy the ride. In Zambia, I was staying in this very rustic resort, I suppose it was called, and I was taking photographs. And this zebra walked up to me, and I thought, this is not a good sign. And I started stepping back a little bit too late. The zebra turned around, turned his back on me, and kicked me. I was stepping away, so I released some of the force, but he injured me quite badly in my upper arm, and in my lower arm, and in my rib cage. So the lesson from that is that we must always be aware of what others are doing. Listen and watch, and just take note of the sounds, the signs, the symbols that are surrounding us. So my question to you is, what if you don't step out of your comfort zone and you don't face your uncertainties? You may never discover those inner thoughts and feelings that inhibit you from exploring the outer travel experiences. You may get stuck within your limitations. And what if you remain close to the circumstances around you and don't listen to those signs and symbols and sounds that are available, and you don't pick yourself up and carry on after a mishap or a mistake? If you do as I do and you just go ahead and you just go forth with it and take those risks, you'll discover a whole new world of connection with others and with yourself, and you'll have a whole bunch of new experiences. You too can experience some of the inner and outer treasures that I discovered. Finding what you can laugh at, finding that you can laugh at misfortune, such as the time when I was in Georgia. I was visiting this historical cave village, and I was the only person wandering around this place. It's funny, when I was traveling, I was often the only tourist, and I was wandering around this village and this cave village, and I lost the path, and I ended up sliding down some rocks. I didn't know how to get out of there. Anyway, no harm. It was a lovely little visit. And then on my way back, I stopped at a roadside little market to buy some beautiful fresh fruit. And I don't know if you can see that gentleman is smiling and laughing, and everybody is smiling and waving and laughing. And I thought, gosh, these Georgian people are so friendly. What a wonderful country. I was so happy to be there. Until I got back to my accommodation, and I realized that my pants had ripped open completely and my buttocks was hanging out. And they weren't laughing with me, they were all laughing at me. And so sharing, it's just wonderful that you can go ahead, and because they're strangers, you know you're never going to see them again. But what a wonderful experience to be able to laugh with people. And then also sharing the homes of strangers and understanding the cultures and rituals, such as I did when I stayed in the homes of locals in places like Iran and Cuba. This is me in Iran. I was at this house, and the room that they gave me was upstairs in a real rickety stairway that I was very uncomfortable negotiating in the dark. So I opted to sleep in the garden, and that is where I slept for the night. But wonderful just to be able to share. I was invited to people's homes for lunch, for dinner. Most of them couldn't speak in English. I couldn't speak their language. But what an incredible experience just to be in these people's homes, to share their hospitality and to learn about their way of life. And then the next one was Haiti. I went to visit a voodoo priest. Again, in Haiti, I never saw another Western tourist in my whole time there. And I wanted to go to a voodoo priest, and nobody would take me. They said it was dangerous. They all told me it was very real, that people put curses and people died. But I wanted to go to a voodoo priest. So eventually I found somebody who would take me, and they wanted $10. So I paid $10 to the voodoo priest, which he spent on a bottle of what looked like vodka. I thought, oh, well, there goes my $10. And he took a lot of sips of this vodka, and he spat it around all four corners of the room, obviously to clear the room of evil spirits. I'm not sure. Then with lots of rattling, a bit like our Sangomas, a lot of rattling and shaking of bags and bones and all kinds of things. He said he could do a reading for me for $100. So I gave him $100. I'd come all this way. I wasn't going to miss this opportunity. He told me that I had a bad knee. Well, it was pretty obvious because I had limped into his place. And he told me that somebody at work hated me. And I thought, well, that is probably, everyone has somebody at work that dislikes him. So I thought, well, so much for my $100. And he said to me that he could make this go away for $700. And I thought, no way, is I paying $700? What if this really works and somebody at work dies because I put a spell on them, a voodoo spell? And so I declined, and he said, no, you don't have to pay me now. You only pay me when your problem is solved. And I thought, gosh, that's quite an offer, but I still declined. He then said that he saw in me the makings of a voodoo priestess, and I should become a voodoo priestess. And he took me to the secret background of his place and showed me the rituals that I would have to undertake in order to become a voodoo priest. One was sleeping for a week in an underground cave. Another was going into a snake pit. Well, I decided voodoo priesting was not for me. And it's also important that we look at meaningful local travel. Some years ago, my late sister and I went to the Grahamstown Festival. We were staying in a farmhouse and there were some books, and reading through some of the books, we discovered our heritage. We didn't know, we knew on my father's side our heritage, but we didn't know much on my mother's side. And we didn't know that we were 1820 settlers. And we found this whole book with all my ancestors in it, and that they'd come with the 1820 settlers to Salem. So my sister and I went on a pilgrimage to Salem, and we went and we discovered some of our ancestors' graves. And through this whole process, I also discovered that I have Irish heritage, which I didn't know. I had been to Ireland twice, and I'd left my heart in Ireland, and now I know why. And boy, can I tell you some stories about Ireland. I've got wonderful stories to share about Ireland. So if I had not taken some of these risks, today I may not be able to genuinely listen to the spoken and to the unspoken word, to be able to really experience the visual and the natural surroundings, and to connect and to communicate with others, to fully know the power of other and thoroughly understand the power of me. So I invite you all to go on, take that bold step into the unknown, connect with the power of other. And you're all welcome to contact me, where we can discuss how you can develop that confidence to take some of these risks. My family was always very concerned about me, that I would just up and go to these countries. I went to Uzbekistan, and I went to Iraq, many countries that people just say don't go and visit, and I just went. And I am so eternally grateful for those opportunities to explore that other side of me and that other side of other. So you are welcome to connect with me.